Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise. And as you guys are no doubt aware, today has been the first day that Capcom has actually showed us some live gameplay for Monster Hunter Rise. And naturally, I'm going to be looking over that gameplay and analyze it to the best of my ability. We already kind of seen this gameplay because I live streamed the whole event, which, by the way, we broke another record in the channel. We had over 5,000 people watching the stream at one point, which was amazing. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for showing up, for hanging out, and just, you know, enjoying Monster Hunter with the Ironbreakers, because it's been completely amazing these past couple of days. But anyway, as I was saying, we're going to be looking at this gameplay that I have right here. This was the first gameplay that they shown. It is going to include dual blades, but it's also going to show us a lot of other things as we go through the gameplay itself. Now, the first thing that I would like to point out is that we now can see the actual UI of the game. Do understand that a lot of this stuff might be placeholders, so it can look significantly different when the actual game comes out, but I think that the placement of the elements is pretty much going to be this one. And the only thing I would expect to change is potentially some of the artwork, because right now it feels a little bit too clean for Monster Hunter, if that makes sense. It feels a little bit too simplistic. Usually Monster Hunter has some more ornate UI elements, if you will. So yeah, expect some of this stuff to change, particularly in terms of assets, but in terms of positioning, I would expect it to stay pretty much the same. So as you guys can see, we now have the monster list here on the top right-hand side. You'll see that there are 3 monsters here, and they have a bit of a different art style than what we're used to. I don't know if this is placeholder or if this is actually going to be what the monster icons are going to look like. This looks like it's been made in that more traditional Japanese painting style, if you will. In case you guys are curious what each of these icons are as we get started here, here we have the Azuchi, which is that new monster with the bladed tail. Here we have the Urzuros, which to me looks completely unrecognizable, just kind of like looking at it from a glance. Also, these do become a little bit more vivid when you actually see the monsters in the field. Like right now, they're a little bit grayed out, but they become more active as you see the monsters. And you'll even get like a selection portrait around the monster that you are actively hunting. But anyway, there's Azuchi, Urzuros, and here we have the Tetranodon, which is the big chonky boy. I don't know exactly what this particular thing here means. I believe that this is probably like, oh, go kill a Tetranodon or something like that. Here you can see your Palico and Palamute health bars. Again, do remember that you can bring 2 Palicos or 2 Palamutes, as a matter of fact. In the second portion of gameplay that we'll be looking at in this video, it is actually with 2 Palamutes. Like I said, in this video, they will be using dual blades. You can already see the Archdemon Gauge right there. Or is it just Demon Gauge? I don't know. I don't play a dual blade, so I don't know what the exact nomenclature for it is. I assume Demon Gauge, Archdemon Gauge, whatever you want to call it. You can see an interesting thing in a sharpness gauge here, which is it shows you the sharpness for the whole weapon. Whereas in World, you'd have like the sharpness that you're currently on, and you can keep track of that sharpness. Looks like in Rise, you might be able to see the entirety of the sharpness of the weapon, with the outside of the gauge basically being the same color as the sharpness that is currently active, which is it's actually okay. I like that. The map being on the bottom left-hand side. Where is the map in World? Is the map in World is also on the bottom left, isn't it? I don't know. It's been a while since I last touched World, but we're gonna change that because tomorrow I'm probably going to be hosting a live stream for all those of you that still need Alatreon in order to prepare for Fatalis and all that. But, you know, we got the map here, and I believe that they mentioned that you're not going to have to look for the monsters anymore because you can see them here. It's just right now you don't know who is who. You just know that there's these 3 monsters, and these are their relative positions. I believe that the whole thing is about how you send an owl and the owl scouts out the map or something like that. There's probably some kind of in-game justification for that, but, you know, you basically get to see where the monsters are. I think at least that's what they said, because, you know, some stuff gets lost between translation. So I'm sorry if I mess something up here. We also have the timer up here, as you can see. And one of the most important new things is this. This right here is the wirebug wire bug counter. So you get 2 charges of wire bug by default, and they recharge over time. Chat pointed out to me that it recharges a little bit slower when you are in combat to kind of like prevent you from just having infinite mobility regardless of what weapon you bring. It still feels like it's really, really powerful, as you guys will see throughout the gameplay here. But yeah, these are your charges for wire bugs, and you will be able to get more than 2 during the quest. Maybe you'll be able to get more than 2 with a special skill or something, but during the quest, the 3rd one that you get is actually temporary. But basically, you can shoot it twice, or you can shoot it once, wait until it reloads, shoot it again. But this thing is just like constantly reloading, as you will see once I actually put the gameplay on. And this particular new thing in the UI is how you can control your pets. You're able to like do callouts for your pets, and you're able to do a couple of more things with it. And then you have the traditional item bar, and the item wheel makes a return, as you guys will see. So let's actually have the gameplay play out.
Those runes, the shrine runes that we talked as well.
So this does take place in the shrine ruins. Let me actually lower the volume just a little bit here, because I want to be able to comment over it. So they accepted a 2-star quest to hunt the Tetranodon, which I'm assuming is probably what it says there. It's like to keep track of your objectives. And you can see that you have the tent. And in the tent, it basically, another thing that you can confirm is you can see the box. I believe that the box was already visible in... some of the previous trailers. But let me just let him pan out to the box. Boom, there's the box right there, your blue box. So this is usually where you would get your supplies, which some quests do give you supplies, as they have done in World. But yeah, you have the box there, and behind this you have the tent. So you have pretty much the same system that you have in World, with item refresh being confirmed. And I will do a video as to why I would rather not have item refresh, to kind of like explain to you guys what the deal is with that. Also, sorry about my phone there. I'm going to go ahead and... it's a copyright claim created for the live stream, just like I predicted. Okay, so they do tell you exactly what each of these items is, but this right here, the box, this is basically your item box. So I believe that you'll be able to just access everything that you have in your stash, basically. So you will be able to refresh your items during a hunt. You'll probably be able to do item loadouts just like we did in Monster Hunter World. And I would assume that you'd be able to exchange your equipment as well, even though that was not shown in this particular live stream. Also, an interesting little detail here was the design of these dual blades, because if you pay attention, dual blades, again, I didn't use them too much in Monster Hunter World, but what I remember is when you go into demon mode, it reverses the grip on the blades in Monster Hunter World, right? And if you're just like playing normally, then the blades are held normally. Now in here, these particular dual blades, you reverse grips the hilt, the sheath of the blade, which counts as a blade in and of itself. And he normal grips the blade, which gives this quite a unique look. And I think that is going to be a theme that we're going to be seeing for the dual blades for Monster Hunter Rise, is the fact that you're going to have like 2 distinct blades every time. I think that's what it's going to be, because the first time we also had like dual blades and one of them looked like the Tonfa. So I think that dual blades are going to be a little bit more unique this time around, instead of just being 2 weapons that are similar, which is cool. It gives them a bit of a cooler style, in my opinion. But yeah, you can see that you have your 2 pets here, your 2 companions. If you have the 2 Palamutes, you'll see later that the other one shows up over here, and and here you have everything that you would expect from the tent facilities.
So yeah, the first option is
the wire bug over there.
Is the buddy board, and the 3rd one is each. The 4th one is get out of here. If you go to the top one,
oh wait! They actually said that. Give me a second here.
The 4th one is.
Good God! It's like this video is not. It's not a particularly good video. I had to download the VOD from Twitch, so it kind of like staggers a little bit. But anyway, they said that the item box is this option here. So this gives you access to all of your stuff. This is the buddy board, which allows you to basically select between which companions you want. You want to have the Palico, you want to have the Palamute, you want to equip them with something, you can change that over here. And the third one is going to be to eat. So you will be eating in the tent this time. You're not going to have anyone fixing up your meals on the outside. So basically you can also eat. This was something that I didn't notice during the live stream because, you know, I was paying attention to other elements.
If you go to the top one, the item box, you're able to manage your equipment and change, you know, what you're using.
Manage your equipment. So you will be able to change your equipment as well.
So we're going to have 14 weapons from, you know, like that you've seen in the series before.
Okay, so they already confirmed that they're not adding a new weapon. It's going to be 14 weapons.
A lot of weapons that they've seen in the past.
Yes.
But we'll be talking a lot more about those weapons later. So
yeah, and in this video, you're going to be seeing gameplay of dual blades and longsword.
you know, this is nothing to do before, but you had like a lot of money, didn't you? Apparently, in the item box, you could see the cash.
Yeah, they had like 9 billion, 900 million, some basically all nines in their Zenny. That's what they're commenting on. As you can see, he uses the wirebug instantly. You can see the cooldown kind of like slowly refreshing. That's how the wirebugs are going to work. And as you can see, it's pretty fast when you're out of combat. I'm going to be paying a little bit more attention to it this time whenever we are in combat. Yeah.
You just use that
the mobility is going to be completely insane.
Put it in the direction.
They're probably going to be putting a lot of like Easter eggs throughout all of these maps and secret gathering spots and stuff like that. And you're going to be finding a lot of shortcuts with this.
Here too. Look. Aha.
You can see a gathering point there.
You're on the edge.
Mining node.
You know, you can use them to do like little jumps to get up the over places that are in the way.
Here's another thing that.
It's really helpful to have.
Damn it! I didn't want it to go this far. I'm sorry. Here's another thing that you guys can see, which is if you look at the map, like if you compare this map with the maps of like Monster Hunter World, notice how much more open it is. Like, if you think of a map like, for instance, Wildspire Wastes, it's considerably more open than something like Rotten Vale or even the Ancient Forest, because the Ancient Forest does have a couple of open areas, but once you start going deeper into the forest, right, you start getting tangled up on all the nooks and crannies and stuff like that, and you can just see the possibilities of movement that you get with the wirebug for a huge map like this. Now, that actually got me thinking that would this mean that the monsters would be a little bit more dynamic as to where they would fight? Because, you know, in World, there's still very much hard zones, so to speak. There's combat zones and there's traversal zones whenever it comes to monster AI. So if you encounter a monster in a certain place that's not technically a combat zone, you can fight it for a couple of seconds, but then the monster will just like roar and go away and fight somewhere else. That's something that you see a lot in Monster Hunter World. And when I saw an area kind of like as wide open as this from this particular vantage point, I was thinking to myself, hey, maybe we could fight monsters in these traversal zones, but it doesn't seem like that's the case from the gameplay that we've seen anyway. It looks like the monsters still very much go to a specific zone and then you fight there. Sure, you might be able to fight them a little bit in the traversal, but, you know,
hidden gathering points.
Hidden gathering points, like we talked about.
You know, included in the game. It's a really great way to kind of explore the world.
And also find endemic life and stuff like that. That's going to be something that you're going to be seeing
really tall, and he's like,
this mobility really,
obviously it is.
really going to be about.
So it looks like you can use the wirebug as you're falling down to, you know, make it look cooler. But he says actually, if you fall and you hit the ground,
You can see a wirebug over there to the right hand side. That wirebug gives you another charge of wirebug. So you get to have 3 wirebug charges during the rest of the hunt.
On the bottom, but next you can see to the right of that, there is this little icon mesh.
They're talking about the blue icon that allows you to control the pets a little bit better.
You can issue orders to your
Oh, and they show something really cool now. I'm pretty sure that now is when they show this stuff. Also, as you can see, I had already mentioned this, but I'm not sure if you guys, if everybody watched the other video, but I already mentioned you would be able to control the companion whenever you're on the back of the Palamute. And here you go. You can see that it's perfectly controllable. It's not like on rails like the Tail Raiders. And you're also able to use items and stuff. They'll showcase that in a couple of seconds here as well.
Basically, it's really helpful to have the palamute around to access all these areas and move about quickly. Sorry, I'm going to get off of him really quickly.
And now they're going to showcase these interactions that you can have with the pets.
That action bar to do some
See, look at that.
with your buddies.
They have him sitting down and watch this one. He gives you the paws. It's so cool.
Good dog.
It's just a nice little detail. Like, it has no actual gameplay, no actual special gameplay thing. But it's just an additional action that you can do. And it just shows that the team is like, hey, dude, I mean, we have a dog, we have a cat. Why wouldn't we be able to play with them? Just like make it happen. This is just for you to play around, which is kind of cool.
So yeah, the action that lets you use kind of all sorts of things. As you saw, there were actions to do with your animals, with your pet, with your buddies, and you could also do things like summon the palamute to ride it.
You can see the herb there. You can kind of gather stuff on the go, which they will show as well.
Mountain, and we're in this new area now. So this is the main field of the area.
It's area 1, basically. And you can see that the monsters are going around through the map and stuff while you're doing this.
So I talked a little bit about this. You can join on the, you can summon kind of the palamute to jump on it using the action slider. But if you're near the palamute, you can also just hold A to like just hop onto his back.
And as you can see, you can use items while you are on top of the palamute.
You can use, you can set shortcuts to kind of make it easier to use the commands that you want to use.
And there it is, the item wheel. Just like in Monster Hunter World, you're going to be able to press, I believe it's going to be L1, because you can see you press L1 and it opens up the normal item stuff here, and it also opens up the item wheel, which you can then use the right stick to select an item, to sharpen, to whatever. You're going to be able to customize this, and you're also going to have the 4 shortcuts. It's basically the exact same system for the item wheel that you have in Monster Hunter World. Also notice that when you did that, it also zoomed in on the map, and you can see all the different points and stuff. You can see gathering points, you can see secret points. So this is also going to be something that you'll use to find things, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's L1 also zooms in on the map. That's cool. I didn't notice that detail during the stream.
Use healing items and whatnot. Sharpen weapons and.
Now, like I said, pay attention to his stamina, because he's going to be increasing his current available maximum stamina by picking up some of these insects that you see here.
Actions done and prepare for battle and whatnot. So
like this one, I believe would be a health one.
you can see this little green thing, right? It's kind of like a little ball.
And you can see Tetradodon coming up.
Endemic life. So you can collect these to do things like get little buffs like heal or get stamina back.
And there's another wirebug there.
Benefits.
Notice how now he's got 3 wirebug on the bottom side of the screen.
They're only active for the quest that you're on.
Now, the palamutes can't jump up on all of the walls. If you noticed earlier, the palamutes can kind of like climb up vines and stuff like the hunter could in previous games.
So normally, you see there's now 3 symbols for the wirebug on the bottom. Before, we had only 2. So what this is during quests, you can find wirebugs in the wild, that was weird, to actually increase the max amount of wirebug usage you have in that quest by up to 3.
Now, the way that this is going to work, though, is that when you use up all 3 wirebugs in one go, that wirebug's going to go away. It also goes away after a little while.
But sorry, I think I missed
those 10 points, I believe, is like usual hunting points. There's the Zenny, and then there's the points. That's what I would assume that is. And then there's specific spots where they have these giant wirebugs, like this one. Watch.
That they have added to the game.
And the giant wirebugs basically allow you to jump a lot higher than usual.
Discover like your best routes to monsters and figure out the best way to play it.
It's basically going to work kind of like a shortcut type of deal. Like, think of the Coral Highlands when you go to that area that lets you go up if you have the glider mantle. It's the same thing.
So over here, you can see this kind of grass thing that he's.
There you go. Look at how big. Look at that chonky wire bug.
So you can see over here, he just like found a great wire bug in there, and you can use those one that you found to make these super huge jumps, like the one that you just saw.
Look at how the third wire bug is running out.
So, you know, like searching through the locales, you can find.
Actually, I think what I said earlier was wrong, because I thought, initially when I saw the stream, I thought that if you used all 3 wire bugs, then the other one would go away, but I think it's just timed. Because as you could see, it was blinking right before it ran out, so I think it's just timed. You pick them up and you get them for like, I don't know, 60 seconds, you have 3 wire bugs or something like that, which is actually a better way of going about it, because, you know, having 3 wire bugs is going to be pretty friggin' brutal, so it needs to be like a temporary thing.
Items like this and, you know, endemic lives and wire bugs that will let you maneuver and gain more buffs. It's a really interesting thing that adds rewards to the exploration aspect of the game.
And there's another wire bug for him to get the 3 charges. Another green one, look at how his maximum health increased as well. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but his maximum health just increased when you pick up that blue one. Now, this I believe is going to be for stamina, right?
So outside of the area,
yeah, this one's a stamina one.
Fight the monsters, like the one that you just saw. There's also these kind of like little side areas that are basically you won't find any large monsters wandering in here, but there's.
Look at the grip that I told you guys about. Wait. See how he's holding the sheath of the blade, which, like I said, is a blade in and of itself. He's holding it in reverse, so like your dominant hand. I mean. Dominant hand, that's kind of like debatable when it comes to monster. But like your right hand is holding the weapon, you know, as you would normally hold it, and your left hand is a reverse grip, which is interesting.
There's some like destructible environmental.
And I really like the design of this dual blade, by the way. I'm not huge into dual blades, but I like the design of like the sheath of the blade being a blade in and of itself. It's kind of cool. And there you go. Additional health, additional stamina. And whatever this happens to be, probably endemic life or points, I don't know.
If you're really good at these games and you're an experienced veteran of the Monster Hunter series, you can probably go straight into fighting the monsters if you want to. All this stuff is, you know,
yeah.
Once again, just...
Because it's like, if you're, once you get to a certain point in Monster Hunter, all of these little buffs and stuff are not going to matter, because you're going to come in here with like full food buffs, fully decked out with the proper skills and stuff, and you don't have to do any of this gathering.
Items and other things. We'll be giving
at least I wouldn't expect you to.
On a later date, but you know, right now, I think that's all we're going to say about them. So you can see him. They were talking about, can we climb up here? And then he's like, yeah, I can check this out.
Yeah, you can climb up all over the place. Also, by the way, isn't this didn't they show the Bullfango there? Because in the other gameplay, there's a Bullfango down there, and I wasn't paying attention now, but we'll see it on the second gameplay that they show.
Around the environment and explore. So, you know, find a way that suits you, find a way that you like, and play the sort of game you want to play. So once you get used to it, it starts feeling really nice to just bounce around.
Very much so. Like I can imagine just like how fluid this is going to feel. Like you hop on the dog, you jump off of the dog, you start, you know, grappling, hooking yourself all over the place.
You can play around with different play styles and have fun.
But I also can understand this is going to be frustrating for some people, because not everybody's going to want to just like slingshot all over the place. But I do believe that this is going to be a very crucial element of the game, as you will see, which is how often they're going to be using the wire bug in combat, which now we're finally going to go into combat, like friggin' 23 minutes into the video. I'm so sorry.
But you can see on the bottom left, there's that sort of map, and that will generally show you where monsters on. And if you know what the monster is, it will show up as a little symbol, but the question marks are monsters that you haven't kind of...
Couple of important things. Let me just see if I can pause at the right spot. Couple of important things here. Number one, you get different colors depending on whether or not you're hitting a weak spot. Like as you can see right now, we are hitting the head, which I'm assuming is considered the weak spot for this monster. Therefore, the numbers show up in yellow. Another thing, blood. So many people asked for blood, and as you can see, there's clearly blood splurting out of the monster. You also get the flashes that you would usually get for critical hits, as you can see here. And you have damage numbers, which is something that we didn't know up until this point. Damage numbers are back. Damage numbers are going to be a thing in this game as well.
So,
Now, I'm not going to tell you a lot about the differences of dual blades because I don't tend to play a lot of dual blades, so whatever.
off into the distance that will search out and scout out the locations.
He's eating rations right now because his stamina was real low. And, you know, you can't play dual blades with low stamina.
So now we're showing off the Tetranodon, and this is an amphibious, hefty chunk, as I think I said yesterday.
He's a chunker. Big chungus.
He's really big already, but
Look at that
he's
charge.
fighting. You can see him now. He's actually pretty big up. Once he eats something, he gets extra full. He
And you
gets-
can see right there using the
what
using the
happens
wirebug to do an aerial attack.
attacks become
But that's not the
stronger.
only thing that you
They
can
also
do.
change
There's
his
like
attack
this,
patterns a
which he
little
kind of
bit.
like
So
sticks
there's
something in the
really
monster and then does damage, and then as he moves away,
different
that
way
thing
of
kind of like
fighting
does some kind of
Now I'm
an
gonna show
additional
you a little
attack
bit more about the
that deals
dual
additional
blade.
damage.
Wow, look at that! Look at that stomp. Oof.
And I believe that there's also like a counter move. At least I saw the counter move with a longsword. You saw an adept dodge right there. I'm not sure what
So,
that one was
Right
though.
now he's used the wirebugs, but you're able to use the wirebug in coordination with your attack. Like
There you
as
go.
you're
He
seeing
attaches the
here,
wire bug, he wraps it up in a part of the monster, then he deals damage, and then as he pulls it away, an additional
and
chunk of
every
damage
weapon
gets
has
made.
A number of different patterns and things you can do. Collaborations attacks that you can coordinate.
Was that
make
another,
with a wirebug?
like, adept evade? It looked like another adept evade right there.
And a lot of them
And now he got grabbed real
really
bad.
sort of go well.
Maybe
with
that's
the
like something that you can just do with the dual
This one
blades. You get like
increases
adept style
mobility,
evades.
do extra damage at very specific points. So I'm going to show you one right now. It looks like he's going to throw the wirebug forward. So you throw the wirebug forward, and if the monster makes an attack into it, it gives you
Yeah, look at how
an
slow it
animation
recovers when you're in
counter
combat.
attack
That's the other
into it.
thing.
So there are really cool ways to use the wirebug and sort of a supportive role for your main
Like there's the
weapon and
counter attack right there,
just
which is
shows
pretty
you
cool.
that.
You use the wirebug to do counters. They did the same thing for the longsword as well.
Monster attacked him, he threw out the wirebug, which is going to make that really cool counter attack.
There you go.
Again, I think.
So yeah, this is going to very much be a key element of the game. It's not going to be something that is going to be kind of like optional for your playstyle. It's going to be a core feature of this game.
One or maybe two of these wirebug icons on the bottom.
And then he stuck one right in his head. And now as he moves away, it's going to detach, boom, 44 damage.
There's ways to use this to make attacks. There's ways to use it as an evasion.
That is pretty cool though. I really like that, the thing of using this in different ways and whatnot. But I do know that some of the older hunters are going to be like, oh, it's just like another gimmick like the clutch claw. And I can understand because a lot of people just want the more traditional thing.
The Palamute,
But,
does have
you know,
HP.
it is what it
He
is.
can get hurt, but he will never die. So even if
This is just the type,
really,
the
even if it gets
the,
really
the
hurt
thing
bad,
that they
they'll
did for this
run
game,
off
and you're going to have to
not
kind of
being
like
able
deal
for a
with
bit,
it.
Healing up, eating doggy treats or something.
There you go. They attached it again, and they're going to eventually pull it and deal
So I
additional
think-
damage.
I think we still have time. He's thinking about ending the gameplay here, but we have a little bit more time, so he's going to maybe do it a little bit more. They're kind of discussing what do we want to do now.
どんな使い方なんですか、お柱の。まだ見たい気持ちは
I believe that they showcase a little
I'm
bit
sure a lot
of
people want to do the whole
Arzuros
fight
now.
and see everything. But it looks like they're going to.
今日は何でしょうね。
Okay, so we got a little bit more time. So you see these question marks? So he's going to run over and encounter them. And he actually
Yeah,
can
here's
go down.
Arzuros. Arzuros actually has really cool animations of his of the fur on top of him because it is kind of like
So, yeah, we got
flowy,
this guy who just ran
which is
over.
kind of cool.
Oh my god.
難しいですね。さあ、
I don't think they actually do the turf war though. No, he's leaving. The Tronodon is like, peace, I'm out.
English.
The poor translator did not know that this is an Arzuros.
So there's also. It sounds like he.
It's so well animated though. It's one of the things that they've always excelled at with Monster Hunter is the animations of the monsters as well as the weapons.
Reveal of this little
Surprise reveal of Arzuros.
monster. Dojo.
スポットが TGS で当たるとは。
It sounds like the Japanese is Jojo. I might have missed that. Sorry, I'm sure everybody's watching this is more familiar with this monster than I am. So,
Dude, there's so much blood when you hit the monsters now. There's probably going to be an option for you to turn it off for people that don't want to get blood, but I know that this was a big request from a lot of people, like, oh man, we need blood on monsters. I want to see blood splats.
Shout and yell and taunt and so on.
Oh yeah, they're also talking about how the hunters actually speak right now in the game. Like your characters actually will speak and talk and stuff like that. My hope is that you can just have them do that in Japanese. I know that you can turn it off, but I hope that you can have, like, you know, all of the text of the game in English and then just have your hunter voice be Japanese, because I think that would actually be cool to hear the characters speaking in Japanese. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll get tired of it. Either way, they're clearly aware of the fact that there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to like the whole voiceover stuff, and you'll be able to just turn it off.
You can kind of mix around with that. So yeah, we hope you, everybody's looking forward to trying out all these new different abilities and seeing the monsters and everything. So it sounds like we have some more time. So more time than we initially thought we had.
Ryozu always wants to give you more.
So we're gonna go. So we're gonna go in a little bit more of a.
I wonder what the red buff is. The red buff seems like it could potentially be like additional damage for a little bit. You kind of have that in Monster Hunter World right now, and some I forget. There's like a spore or something that you can pick up, and it gives you attack. I think I've only seen it in like icy areas. So
the extra mile and show. Literally, let's go the extra mile and show some more stuff.
There's the Azuchis.
So there. So this is also something that he doesn't know what's going to be waiting in this direction. So yeah, like that kind of like triple wirebug thing he did there. She commented how like really nice that felt to see and do. And he's like, yeah, this is that mobility, the kind of light, the ability to run around and be mobile and explore the game. That's a really fun part of this. So they're just gonna keep exploring. Oh wow, look at him climb that cliff, and you can use the wirebug to kind of check out where you want to go like that as well.
Here's another interesting thing about the wirebug is that you can actually use it to recover stamina mid-air as well, which we have seen here. You can basically just like keep the button pressed, I would imagine, and you can just stay hanging there. I assume infinitely, and then you just recover stamina right while you're up there as well, which is cool.
Cool, strong feeling of, you know, traversing this environment and exploring all these interesting places.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great to just explore the whole thing, but I am still concerned about the ease of engaging a monster and disengaging from a monster using this. Because, you know, ultimately, if you have this amount of mobility, whenever you're in danger, just like, I'm just going to zip myself away and get the hell out of Dodge. What is the monster really going to do? They're going to have to create something that, some situations where the monster is going to have to be able to get the upper hand on you with all of this mobility. So we'll see. So this right here is a Tanuki, as they're saying. And he shows up in the trailer, and he's just like, he seems to be the kind of critter that doesn't even give a damn about anything. He just like lays back.
He's a friendly little guy. He doesn't really care.
I love how they say he's a friendly little guy, but if you pay attention now, he's charging at the hunter.
I'm just gonna do what I want.
So I think he's going to attack. Like, look at him. He's coming right at you. He was going to try to attack for sure. But yeah, now let's take a look at the second gameplay here. Hello everyone, Future Ruri here, and I just came here to tell you guys that I'm actually going to be splitting this up into 2 videos because this video is already over half an hour long. So I figured that I would do one video of dual blades, which is this one, and I'll do another video for the long sword, which is going to be like part 2 of the TGS gameplay. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you guys did not enjoy this video, hit the dislike button. Feedback is always important. Thank you all very much for watching. If you usually enjoy my content, subscribe, bell notification icon, all of that jazz, and I'll upload the next video as soon as I possibly can. So I'll see you there. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.